Hi everyone, welcome back to Coding and Analysis. In this video, I'm going to cover the Fantasy Football Health Projections dataset. You can see here the data frame is being created here with combined stats. And then pandas.read underscore CSV. This is the CSV file. We come down here, we do a .head method, and we can see the ID is the player name, the team, the fantasy position, quarterbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends. I combined them since they are similar. And we have running backs as well. And then we have the 2023 age in games, and 2024 age in games, and the 2024 age as well. And then we have this 2023 and 2024 health status. So these numbers are coded to this column right here. So if the player was healthy in 2023, that means they had a score of 0. So they played 16, 17 games, or they were a healthy backup. And then if they scored a 1, that means they had minor injuries. They only played 14 to 15 games. If they scored a 2, that means they had moderate injuries. So that's 10 to 13 games they played. If they scored a 3, it's major injuries, 5 to 9 games. And 4 significant injuries. They played only 0 to 4 games for that season. So you can see here Joe Burrow, he had a score of 2 with moderate injuries. 2023, he only played between 10 and 13 games. And then there's also this column right here for serious injury. So if the player had a major injury or significant injury, then they would have scored a 1 right here. If they had healthy or minor or moderate, they would score 0. And you can see here this average season in games. This criteria, it's based on a 3-season average for veteran players, a 2-season average for players drafted in 2023, and for rookies that were drafted in 2024, it's just how many games they played in the 2024 season. So then I'm taking the average season games right here. I'm dividing by 17 games, which is the number of games in a regular season, and multiplying by 100, and I get this durability. I just call it health grade for simplicity's sake. And so the health grade is right here. And then there's the 2025 age and 2025 games. That's just the predicted number of games the players are predicted to play. And the source of the 2025 games and the average season games, that came from CBS Fantasy Sports, their stats. And then for the 2023 games and 2024 games, that came from FantasyPros, Fantasy Stats, their website on fantasy football. And then if we go down here and we sort the values to the lowest, so we're getting the lowest scores in the data set. You can see here Elijah Mitchell, for example, he had a health score of 29 because he's averaged 5 games for the past 3 seasons. And then we have Deshaun Watson has a health score, durability score of 35. And he's averaged 3 games for the past 3 seasons. And then you can see here some of these projected are very optimistic, especially like for Elijah Mitchell. And hopefully he's going to be a backup, so I don't know if he's going to play 17, but hopefully he'll be healthy for the entire season this time. But I'm not sure if Deshaun Watson, I don't even know if he's going to play again for the Cleveland Browns. So this 10 projected games seems pretty optimistic. So if we go down here and do a group by from the data frame for fantasy position and health grade. So we're filtering for the fantasy position, then we're getting the mean of the health grade, so it's around 88. Then if we do a group by, filter with fantasy position, and then do the average season of games. So it's around 14 for running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. It's going to be lower for the quarterbacks just because there's the backups are factored in right here. If it was just the starters, it would probably be 14, like the running backs and wide receivers. And you can also see here for the 2025 players, it's going to be they're going to be calculated in here because they had a health grade of 100. Because I'm just assuming since they're coming into 2025 season, all the rookies drafted in 2025 are going to have a score of 100, but they're not being calculated into here since they haven't played any games at all in the NFL. And then I don't know if I talked about that, but so the health score, so it's going to be the veterans, it's going to be with the average season of games. But then if it's case by case basis for the backups, so I kind of just do my own research and maybe apply my own health grade, because it's so difficult to kind of put together, because they don't average many games during the season, so that's not a very big factor for them health wise. And then assuming, like I said, the 2025 rookies, they will be healthy and getting a score of 100. So then we go down here to the .info method. You can see here the data types, the integers, the objects, the floats, the different columns that will be used for the next video for the machine learning. And in that next video, we'll be covering the train, test, and split with a random forest regressor to predict the health grade of the NFL players for the upcoming 2025 season. So I hope you stick around and watch that video. And if you want to leave a comment about who you're most worried about to draft in the upcoming fantasy football drafts, leave a comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and always remember to never stop coding. And see y'all in the next video. Thanks.